Hello, YouTube. I wanted to get all these videos done in over or in October, for obvious reasons. I didn't get around to it for one reason or another. So this is the second in my For the Love of Horror series, and in it I want to talk about the other, right? Now, this is specifically in relation to John Carpenter's, or two of John Carpenter's films. The first one being Halloween. Um, uh, there is, in some way, I read Halloween as being a way of thinking through the horror of the other. Um, Michael Myers, my namesake, is a figure that is utterly dehumanized. This is true in his physical appearance. Blank, white face, no eyes, right? If the eyes are the window to the soul, Michael Myers, it's not that he has no soul, actually. It's that we have no access to the soul. We can't rationalize Michael Myers. We can't rationalize his actions. This is why I think he walks to his victims instead of runs. The rational thing to do would be to run after them. But Michael Myers is other. He's not like us. He is something else. So we can't, we repeatedly can't transpose or superimpose our concepts of what is rational onto this character of Michael Myers. This is why there appears to be no motivation. Maybe there is a motivation. At least we're talking about the first film. Maybe there is a motivation, but we don't know it. It is something that is other. It is something that I can't relate to. I can't express. I can't identify with Michael Myers. That's the big thing. I am completely unable to identify with Michael Myers. So Michael Myers, in some sense, is this intrusion into the world, especially given the setting, right? Haddonfield, Illinois, which doesn't actually exist, but Haddonfield as a quiet suburban town, babysitters babysitting children and children going out trick-or-treating and all of this. It's this very safe environment that we all know, we all understand, and into this safety, this radical otherness intrudes. That basic gesture is what's horrifying about Halloween, and in particular the character Michael Myers. You don't know what he's going to do. Indeed, one step further, even the zero level of what it is to be human, to be able to identify as human, is just the basic fact that we're going to die. And Michael Myers apparently can't even do that, right? This is how other he is. This is the mystery behind him. He can't die. He doesn't approach the act of killing in the same way that a human being approaches the act of killing. It's very cold. There was another video in response to Theo's anti-hero challenge where the gentleman mentioned the scene where Michael Myers stabs a guy and then just watches it. And he suggests that it's to admire the work that he's doing. I don't even think that much can be said. I think that what Michael Myers is doing is performing an act of subjectivity. He's doing something, right? He's doing something in his mind. As to what that could be, there's a brick wall, right? There's some activity going on that I can't relate to. I think in some way it's I don't want to say it misses the point. I think it's like rationalizing the traumatic in some way to say that he's appreciating his kill. He's doing something though, and the fact that I can't say what that is like the perfect metaphor or the perfect crux of the point that I want to make about Michael Myers. His complete otherness. Now, the other John Carpenter film that I think thinks as an attempt to think through this otherness is The Thing. If you watch The Thing, it's even much more radical than Halloween. I mean, at least Michael Myers has a human form. The Thing doesn't have that. The Thing's biology is other. It's not even just the mind. It's everything about the Thing, where it comes from, what it's doing. There's everything about the Thing is opaque. And that's what I think. There's a great scene in The Thing where they realize that or they catch the Thing taking the form of one of their crew, and he's outside and he's like hunched over and his hands are up like this, but he's not fully formed, so like his fingers are like 2 feet long apiece, and his mouth is open and like this, and his eyes are just like, there's this moment where instead of the eyes being the window to the soul, they serve the exact opposite function. They let you know that you have no idea what's going on. They let you know that there's something radically other about what's happening. And it's to the point where, given the Thing's biology, normally the eyes are considered to be the window to the soul because the brain is right behind them. Right? Our thoughts are right behind the eyes. We don't even know that about the Thing. So the eyes could just be like the eyes on a doll, with no brain behind them. No like central consciousness that is being reflected in the eyes. The eyes are a big thing for those two John Carpenter films in particular. So when we see this image, and it's not even like the most grotesque scene in the film, obviously, but this image of like a half-completed action of taking the form of the human being, that's when the Thing is revealed in some sense as being other. That's when the horror of the other like comes to the forefront. And I mean, obviously, the Thing deals very much with the paranoid suspicion of everyone on board and all of that. And I think that all of that is really the central theme of horror. The suspense, who is it, blah blah blah. But there's something so effective. In some sense, I want to say that The Thing could as a film, could work without the Thing itself. But there's something so effective when the Thing is revealed that it's like a vacuum. You look into its eyes and there's just abyss. You can't even begin to like construct a narrative of what's going on psychologically, if that word even implies. in some sense, that's what it is. It's the evacuation of the psychological entirely. It's the abnegation of the psychological, and it's just movement as drive, movement as not even animal movement, right? Like we might be tempted to go that route and to say that there's something beastly about it. It's not even that, right? It's there does seem to be something that we could describe as an intelligence, but the fact that any observation, the only observation that I can make about that intelligence, can be expressed in just a question mark or an abyss. It makes me think of the almost cliche at this point Nietzsche quote, the if you gaze into the abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. The Thing and Halloween are in some way artistic expressions of exactly that. The abyss gazing into you, and the sense of vertigo in gazing into the abyss. So that's For the Love of Horror Part 2. And comment, subscribe, and retroactively, Happy Halloween.